It started on a typical Thursday night. I'd just finished locking up the gem and had stepped outside, stretching my back under the flickering streetlight. A strange humming sound crept across the sky. Not a plane, not a drone. It had rhythm, pulse, like a heartbeat. The air shimmered. Then reality tore open. A circular gate of spiraling indigo light unfurled right in front of me. My brain froze. My legs didn't even have time to run. Out stepped three beings, tall and armored, eyes glowing like molten metal. At first, I thought my chai had expired and I was hallucinating. But then one of them spoke. Human or fawn jam? The tallest one said, voice vibrating in the air. You have been selected. Selected? I said. For what? A random kidnapping giveaway. The alien ignored my panic entirely. You have been chosen to represent Terra in the convergence. Prepare for transport. Before I could object, a metallic sphere floated up behind me, scanned me with a flash, and pulled me into the glowing portal. The last thing I saw was my keychain falling to the sidewalk. Then everything went black. Arrival at the Grand Arena. When I awoke, I was standing on a floating platform inside the largest stadium I had ever seen. Enormous crystalline towers stretched into darkness. Millions of beings, feathered, scaled, armored, amorphous, metallic, filled the seats, cheering in languages that sounded like thunder and wind. Directly ahead stood a hologram of the Galactic Council. Competitor 719, it announced. You represent Terra. Coordinates indicate your species has never participated in the convergence. We welcome you. I think you abducted the wrong guy, I muttered. But no one listened. A small spherical robot hovered over to me. Companion Unit ZX, 44 activated. It chirped. Hello, Irfan. I will help ensure your survival, statistically unlikely, but admirable to attempt. That's comforting, I replied. We were guided to competitor chambers, where other representatives prepared. Some were 9 feet tall, some had limbs that curled like vines, some breathed fire casually like it was nothing. I was convinced I would die in round 1. Then I met her, the princess. She stood in the chamber next to mine, a tall, silver-skinned warrior with ridged patterns running across her cheeks, wearing armor that resembled sculpted moonlight. Her eyes glowed a soft violet. She looked at me and smiled. You are the human, she said. I sensed your arrival. You sensed wait. How did you? My species is attuned to emotion. Yours are loud. She smiled wider, but pleasant. I didn't know whether to thank her or apologize. She extended a hand. I am Princess Liara of the Varathi Dominion, competitor and heir to the High Throne. Oh, I said, trying not to sound intimidated. I'm Irfan, from Earth, from a gym, not a throne. You fight in this tournament? Well, technically I got kidnapped into it. Liara laughed, a soft, melodic hum that made my chest warm. Then may fortune guide you, Irfan of Terra. I had no idea that this initial meeting would change the course of my life. The tournament begins. Round 1. The Gravity Gauntlet. Competitors had to run across shifting platforms under unstable gravity. I assumed I was doomed. But growing up dodging potholes, electricity wires, and unpredictable minibuses in Karachi gave me reflexes I didn't appreciate until that moment. Every time gravity shifted, I improvised, leaping, rolling, clinging to railings. One competitor, a massive reptilian beast, slipped and crashed into the abyss. Another floated helplessly into a wall. I kept going. Zex, 44 beeped excitedly. You are performing statistically above expectations. Somehow, by miracle or chaos, I finished third. The crowds went wild. Cameras focused on me. Commentators shouted in languages I didn't know but somehow understood as, "Who let this guy in? And how is he doing this?" Liara found me afterward. I did not expect a human to be so agile. "You and me both." She touched my shoulder, and I swear her hand was warm like sunlight. "You surprised many today." I didn't realize I'd surprised her most of all. Round 2. The Mindshift Trial. This was the one I feared. Competitors were strapped into neural interfaces and sent into psychic simulations designed to overwhelm the mind. Hallucinations, fears, memories. The challenge was simple: stay conscious. The simulation hit me instantly. I wasn't in the arena. I was back on Earth, watching my life play out. My failures, my regrets. Every moment I thought I wasn't enough. Every time I wished I'd done better, tried harder, aimed higher. The mind is the harshest battlefield. But something changed. I thought of Liara's words. "You surprised many today." I thought of Earth, of humanity, of the responsibility I hadn't asked for, but somehow carried now. I refused to break. When the simulation ended, most competitors lay unconscious. I remained awake, gasping but alive. Liara watched from across the chamber, eyes shining with what almost looked like pride. Her secret. One night between rounds, Liara approached my chamber. "Irfan," she said softly, "may I speak with you?" "Sure." She entered, the glow of her armor reflecting against the metallic walls. "I must share something important. The Virathi Dominion expects me to win. My people consider the champion of the Convergence worthy of ruling the entire galactic sector." That's a lot of pressure. She nodded slowly. "I entered this tournament to prove I am strong enough to lead my people and protect my world." "And you will," I said instinctively. She paused. "You believe that?" "Of course." Her expression softened. She sat beside me, close enough that I could feel the warmth of her skin. "Irfan, I have never met someone like you." "You mean a confused earthling who can't believe he's still alive?" She laughed gently. "No. I mean someone who fights not for glory, but because he must. Someone who sees others for who they are, not what they represent." "You are refreshing." I swallowed. "You're incredible, Liara." She looked away, just slightly, but I noticed the faint glow along her cheeks. Before she left, she placed her hand on mine, a gesture I'd later learn carried deep meaning in Virathi culture. I didn't understand then, but I would soon. Round 3, Trial of the Titans. This one nearly killed me. Competitors were matched against massive bioengineered guardians, each shaped like a nightmare, each designed to crush us. Liara defeated hers with skill and precision, blades of energy slicing through the air in elegant arcs. I mostly ran screaming. My guardian was a towering creature of stone and plasma. Every punch shook the arena. But I noticed something. It paused for a fraction of a second after each strike to recharge. Zex, 44 buzzed. Its cooldown cycle is exploitable. So I improvised. When it punched, I rolled. When it slammed, I dodged. When it paused, I attacked. Not with elegance, but with raw desperation. Breaking smaller joints. Targeting weak points. Using every gym trick I'd ever learned about leverage. Finally, the giant collapsed. The arena roared. I looked up at Liara. She was watching me with something intense in her eyes. Something more than admiration. The finals. A choice only 2 competitors remained. Princess Liara. And me. The arena lights dimmed. The crowd went silent. A hush filled the air. The announcer's voice boomed. The final duel will determine the champion of the galaxy. Liara stepped forward. Irfan, she whispered. I do not wish to fight you. I don't want to fight you either. But tradition demands it. We stepped into the arena. The floor shimmered. Weapons materialized. 2 energy staffs. Liara twirled hers gracefully. I held mine like it was a broomstick. The duel began. She moved faster than wind. I dodged barely in time. We exchanged strikes she was clearly holding back, and I refused to strike her with full force. Crowds murmured, confused. Finally, Liara whispered, "End this. Strike my weapon."
What?
Do it. I swung. Our staffs clashed. Hers flew from her grip, spinning into the air. The arena fell silent. The system registered my hit. Victory. Irfan of Terra. I stood frozen. What just happened? Liara bowed her head. I forfeited. But why? She looked up at me, eyes glowing softly. Because I wanted you to win. The unexpected consequence the council materialized. As champion, the hologram boomed. You are entitled to one of 3 honors, a planetary wish granted, leadership of the Convergence Guard, a bond union with any willing competitor. I blinked. A what? Liara stepped beside me. Her cheeks glowed brighter than I'd ever seen. The bond union, she said softly, is marriage. Marriage? Marriage? She nodded. I turned slowly toward the council. And who exactly is willing? Liara raised her hand. The entire arena erupted into thunderous gasps. I nearly fainted. You want to? Her voice trembled slightly. The bond is sacred in my culture. We do not choose lightly. But I choose you, Irfan of Terra. Why me? She stepped closer, placing her hand over my heart. Because you fight with courage, speak with kindness, and stand even when the universe throws you into chaos. Because you made me feel like more than a princess, like a person. My chest tightened. And because I care for you. The council boomed. Champion, do you accept? The entire galaxy seemed to hold its breath. I looked into Liara's glowing eyes.
Yes.
Yes, I accept. The crowd exploded with cheers. Ending. A new future. The following days were a blur. Ceremonies. Celebrations. Galactic broadcasts saying things like Human from Terra wins tournament and Princess Liara chooses outsider as bond union partner, and is this the beginning of a new alliance? Liara and I walked through the crystalline garden outside the palace, where we would soon live. Stars shimmered above like shards of silver. Irfan, she said softly, are you afraid of being married to an alien princess? She smiled. Of the responsibility. Of course I am, but I'm also honored. She intertwined her fingers with mine, another deeply intimate gesture in her culture. We will face it together. I squeezed her hand. Together. As we stood under the glowing sky, Zex, 44 hovered nearby, recording everything for historical archives. Statement, the little robot said. This alliance will be recorded as the first interspecies union between Terra and the Varathi Dominion. Liara laughed softly. I prefer to call it something else. What's that? I asked. A beginning. A beginning. A beginning of a partnership neither of us expected, forged in battle, strengthened by choice, and sealed by something far deeper than destiny. Irfan Jam of Earth, became champion of the galaxy. And I accidentally earned an alien bride. But looking into Liara's radiant eyes, feeling her hand in mine, hearing her heartbeat resonate gently with my own, I realized it wasn't an accident at all. It was fate.